Hello, I am Rita. I'm a co-founder of Skoach, and we help people work better together anywhere, anytime. Let me start by introducing us. We're two co-founders with distinct backgrounds. I am CEO. I have worked for 8 years at BCG, where I have observed companies and their challenges from close. I have an MBA from Columbia Business School, where I was top 5% of my class. And I helped launch an NGO 10 years ago that specializes in training entrepreneurs in developing countries. João is my co-founder and our CTO. He has been a full-stack developer for 7 years, always in early-stage startups, where he has developed products from start to finish. And he has already gone through one exit. The rest of our highly committed team brings complementary skills to the table, like UX, copyright, psychology. And last but not least, we have forged partnerships with 2 experts that help us make sure that our product is science-based, like a neuroscientist and a PhD from Harvard in organizational behavior. We're in this together to tackle a big problem, talent turnover. Losing talent cost US companies in 2019 $630 billion, but it's also hurting them by stripping them away from the potential contribution of the people they're losing. At the same time, people are also hurting, as employees sometimes feel so desperate that they feel the need to leave their job. So why are people leaving or staying? Reports show us that the #1 reason for leaving is a lack of growth. The #3 reason for leaving is manager behavior, right after work-life balance. And on the other side, 50% of employees consider their peers as a reason for staying. So all in all, who you have around you and how they behave is crucial. And it's even more crucial in this new working landscape where offices have been replaced by digital communication tools like Slack or Teams. These tools have reached 12 million and 150 million daily active users in 2020 respectively. And even though we're super lucky to have these tools to connect us, this brings other challenges to the table, like higher isolation. Skoach is a solution. It can help keep teams together and aligned by connecting through Slack and Teams with every team member of any type of team and challenging them to adopt new behaviors. It will challenge them things like, take your company's goals and create your own goals and KPIs. Exchange positive and improvement feedback with your manager, or even introduce strategic recovery breaks into your day-to-day. Most of our users love us. They say Skoach makes them leave their comfort zone and do things they would otherwise not do. They say it brings them closer to their managers and peers, and it also enables them to develop skills that lead to growth. From the leadership perspective, we hear that new ways of working become natural. We hear they sense much better alignment and better communication among the teams. Our vision is to help people work better together anywhere, anytime, by being aware of their context and proactively suggesting best practice behaviors in the most practical way possible. So how does this work? Skoach starts by understanding your context and the goals it should work on by asking a couple of questions. In the first quarter, it will then work on team goals, such as making frequent feedback more natural or aligning teams on goals and mission. The next quarter, it will shift gears and allow each individual to work on an individual skill, like building confidence or even self-care to avoid burnout. It always measures its impact and identifies new action points so that this becomes a growing customer relationship. It looks like this. It's a friendly chat on your fingertips that invites you to do things differently and asks for feedback in return. We always adapt to the design of each communication tool, but we are building the product in a channel-agnostic way, and we will follow users where they go, which means that eventually we might even extend our communication to voice. We are a B2B software as a service that charges a per month, per fee. But in the near future, we plan to invest in product-led growth strategy by being available for personal or even Teams downloads in the app stores of Slack and Teams. We are facing a big market opportunity. We fit into the big soft skills training market, expected to reach $6 billion in 2027. But we also identify with the change management software market that adds a layer and puts our market at $10 billion. If you look closely, This layer is composed of companies that focus on process automation and take people out of the equation. In my previous consulting role, I have learned that the success driver for change management is actually how people behave. And Skoach can help just there. It's a software that helps people behave differently instead of working around it. This is why we believe we are looking at a blue ocean opportunity. To get a chunk of this market, we're building the product to be best in class as we compete with 3 groups: trainers, e-learning platforms, and software coaches. While trainers are non-scalable, which actually creates an opportunity for us to partner with them. E-learning platforms actually have a lower chance of changing the behaviors as you don't apply what you learn. And software coaches are mostly focused on individuals, often managers, and require their own platform. Skoach will talk to you anywhere, anytime. It will make you apply the learnings for a higher impact, and it will change the whole team dynamic and meet you where you work. If you want to be best in class, we are testing and iterating from start. We were born in 2019, and we used that year to test our concept. Most of our operations were manual, which means that I would sometimes, most often, pretend to be Skoach and send people their challenges through WhatsApp. We had 8 paid MVP pilots that brought us a lot of learnings. For instance, we found that we had a higher NPS score, 7.9 out of 10, when we were very relevant to people's contexts. So we took those learnings and we automated our product. We used 2020, we raised the pre-seed, we grew our team, we improved our initial diagnosis with the help of a neuroscientist, we created our own bot builder, so we have no limits to how powerful our bot can be. We automated gamification and reports, and we enlarged our scope so that we can be relevant to more topics and more clients. We have now 3 active beta subscriptions and 2 further ones in the pipeline for the end of the month. And we will continue focusing on creating a great experience, which means that we will make our conversations more natural and fluent by boosting our natural language processing capabilities and the ability of Skoach to make decisions on the spot, like what's the best next challenge for this user. We will continue developing web and mobile support apps to engage our users, like a personal dashboard, where users can track their progress with Skoach and set their aspirations. And we will measure impact in a way that can inform us on how to optimize for future engagement and impact. As next steps, as you now know, we will continue developing our product, but we also want to boost our sales. So I'll take this opportunity and ask you, if you know any company that heavily uses Slack or Teams and would benefit from being Skoached, please drop us a short email. We will also be raising a seed round later this year and would be happy to talk to any of you who find we might be a fit in your portfolio. I am Rita, and we are Skoach, and we're looking forward to talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Skoach. Let's now welcome our invited investors for this session. Pietro Beza from Connected Ventures, Ilya Steltenbein from Dialogflow, and Ben Merrill from Riga. Thank you so much for coming.
Hi, all. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Parabéns, Rita. Thank you
Oi,
very much.
obrigada.
De nada, prazer. Thank you very much for the presentation. Look, quick question on my end. Very interesting. A lot of people are sort of trying to figure out how to make sure their employees, get to work better in the current environment. So you started your presentation with a big number of the cost of, turnover in the US, and you've been live with a couple of clients for a while now. Have you been able to measure any ROI by any chance?
So we haven't. We actually measure our impact in a self-declared way. We always end with a survey where we ask, did Skoach help you do this? Did Skoach help you do that? And we compare with the initial goals we set out to reach. However, this is one of our goals for the future, and that is why we partnered with this PhD in organizational behavior. She will help us devise the models that actually can statistically measure impact further than that we can do now with self-declared answers. So that's definitely a goal, and it's something that will definitely improve our product. It's in the pipeline. It's not that easy because we have to track productivity and engagement. It's something that is more intrusive with clients' data, but it's our goal.
And so just how far away do you reckon you're there? And like it's talking a couple of months, few years, what's the timeline?
Well, we hope to do it this year. It also depends on some scale. She's already working on the data that we have right now, even though it's quite limited. But the idea is to get some clients that are even willing to do these case studies with us, and so are willing to open up more data than the one that Skoach gets immediately from users to us. Ideally, this year we would have an ROI estimated. Thank you for your question.
Muito obrigado.
Rita, it's Pietro here.
Hi, Pietro.
So congrats is a really compelling pitch, I have to say. So I had before a lot of questions to challenge you, but you cover, you succeeded in cover, succeeded in cover a lot of things that I wish I was hearing, and actually you deliver. So for example, I really like your idea of product-led growth and the way you think about pricing. So I have a couple of things to think about, like because I'm spending a bit of time on the space, and I've just recently invested in Progression, which is in the soft skill development and career development element, but it's the same part of the HR stack about soft skills development and feedback. Mm-hmm. So what I think is important for you to figure it out, if it is a single player product that can be adopted bottom up by a single person in the company or a single team in the company, or is a multiplayer kind of product. So it has to be used as a team and has to be bought by head of function or the HR. So this is the first question, or like things to discuss.
Okay. So definitely, we don't see it as a whole organization product. It can also be used as a single player. Some of our pilots already tested that hypothesis because we used people that were scattered across the organization, and they developed individual skills, and that really helped them at their job as well. And that is why we are decided to go through the product-led strategy growth, because we can be relevant for single players. It doesn't have to have a network around. When we work on the whole team, however, there are network effects that take place, and our impact is largest for the client. So when we are playing B2B, we always sell the team goals plus individual skills, and we alternate every quarter. Next trimester or quarter, sorry, we will be available for personal and team downloads on Slack and Teams app stores, exactly because we can work for a single person and for a team of 5 people. So
got it. Yeah, very clever. That allows a way frictionless adoption. And is the pricing is freemium, so you can start by free.
Yes, so definitely in the single player move, it will start as a free service. We will probably give a month free trial, but to be honest, to start, we'll probably give a longer free trial period because we want to learn a lot from these new type of users that are using this completely independent of what HR tells them to do.
Yeah, that is the magic, like be able to sneak into through the team or the user or the single user, and then at some point HR needs to talk to you because he got like 80% of the team completely in love, built a habit on that. And then you do the inside sale. But so that's, I think, is a playbook, which is very interesting. The other question is, there's a lot of software now. So, okay, 95% of the market still is, there's not adopting anything. But the trend is the Peakon, of this word, or Lattice, right? So I'm assuming they will be more and more successful. So basically, good startups, scale up, and SME, they will adopt some soft management, people engagement, people development product for feedback, 360 one-on-one, and yes, you said there's no need to have another SaaS with Skoach, and so you can leave it on Slack, for example. But like, how do you think company how does Skoach fit in a company that already has like good product for feedback and for one-on-one?
So if you're at Skoach, good question actually. We have expanded our reach or our scope exactly to also be relevant to these type of companies. We can work with companies that have good feedback culture and one-on-ones already in place and help them reach other types of goals. Maybe they need alignment around goals in their mission. Maybe they need more ownership and more proactivity and more delegation. So we can actually work with them on different types of goals that are not just one-on-ones, more feedback, leadership. These are very popular programs, but we also have others in place. I definitely see that it's not easy to penetrate a client that's already using Peakon, right? Because we compete for the same share of wallets. But we are definitely increasing our scope in the hopes that it creates a competitive advantage for us, that we can become more relevant to any type of team, even though they're already strong in some of these aspects. Does it make sense?
When you say program, you mean software?
Sorry, no. Because we are.
So, for example, like, so you mentioned. So, if a customer, potential customer for you, is using Peakon,
Yes.
do you think you can exist with Peakon, or that you need to replace Peakon?
So that was my point. I think it is hard for us to coexist with Peakon, even though Peakon, we can coexist in one angle. We can use Peakon's insights to help the whole organization move in some direction. Because Peakon is also an insight generation platform that informs managers on how they should behave differently. We can also help them act on other type of insights and help also the non-managers act on those.
Okay.
But it's hard.
Got it.
I'm not confident
No,
that
it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just my question. Like, is it because I mean, Peakon doesn't have 90% of the market, but probably it's got like 0.01%
exactly.
of the market share. So yeah, I know exactly. The other comments is I need to use the product to understand. It looks like to me it's not really single-minded. It's not clear the job to be done. It's like this chat UI where there's a bit of action, call to action to do things. Is behavioral change. I just need to say to use the product to understand. It's not really clear from the website or from your presentation what kind of value and which kind of like functionalities the product has. It's just a feedback. It doesn't mean that it's not great. It just is not really clear from the website for the day.
And thank you for the feedback. We need to make that clear.
Thank you so much, Skoach and Pietro, Ilya, and Ben for being with us here today. I wish you all the best. Stay well, stay safe, and let's move on to our next startup, Innovation Cast.